Hey guys. So this one is going to be linked on Facebook, but it is going to be on my YouTube channel. Because as I told my Facebook viewers yesterday, I do tend to talk about controversial things. So this is going to be one of those videos. And this is why I'm over here on this game rather than my usual Farmtown game. And this morning, it is actually right now, it is 5:53 in my world. Because like I told a few of you guys, I get up at 4 a.m., 4:30. So right now it is actually, I don't even know if there's a timestamp on this video, but that you guys can see. There'll be one that I can see, I'm sure. But it is 5, it's let's just say 10 minutes to 6 a.m. And since it's Saturday, I am having a cup of coffee. Normally, I just drink milk, and yes, I'm drinking it out of a Taco Bell cup. But normally, I just have milk during the weekday, and then I'll have a milk and a coffee on the weekends. It's so bad for you. But just like anything else, it's bad for you. It tastes so good. But anyway, I digress. So today's topic is going to be about. I have quite a few written down here, but I'm going to pick one and try to stay on task because you guys who have been following me for a while, you guys know that when I start talking about one thing, it's like the uphill climb, and then it comes back down, and then it goes back up. So I'm going to try to stay on task today. But if I do, fine. If I don't, fine. This is my channel, and you're welcome to watch, and you're welcome to not watch. So today I'm going to talk about the trust of people online. How how far do you go with trusting someone that you meet online in any given scenario? I mean, people buy, sell, trade all kinds of items online, and so people meet and date online. People send money online. People send items online. So I'm going to leave my comments open, and I'm going to ask you to comment. Normally, I tell people I don't want to hear the comments that are so negative, but and that's not an invite to negative comments, but I know with a question like this, there's going to be an range of answers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this video on my YouTube channel, and then I'm also going to link it on my Facebook channel and see, if you want to respond, and what is your take on trusting people online. Now, I have certain levels of trust with people online. There's people that I game with, and in the game, I will give them the best of the best of the best items that I can find. And people know this about me that are on Facebook games. I will give you the best item in the game that will help you flourish in that game. Um, if I can. I am a loyal friend, and I am a loyal game player. But um with that being said, I wonder if those same people, now I would, because that's just me. I totally would. I would send the same people that I'm loyal to in a game, and I give you the best of the best, are the same people that if you came to me in private and said, "Hey, I'm having a really hard time. Can you send me $20 cash? Can you send me $40 cash?" I totally would. I mean, there's totally There's people on my Facebook gaming that I I I believe that they would not come and ask me unless they truly needed it. And yes, I would. I would send it to them. There are people on my Facebook that I have sent gifts to. There are people on my Facebook I have sent money to. There are people on my Facebook that yes, I have. And they didn't block me and take the whatever and run. We are still friends to this day. And I really think that I helped them at that point. And I'm not going to say their names because I never said their names then. And I'm not going to say their names now. Hey, Lee. My husband just let the cat out of the room. Yes, you. Come here. Come here, big boy. Lily. Come here. Baby. No. No. I got my cat and my dog sitting here staring at each other. What? What, babe? Come on. Come on. You coming? So, anyway, let me let the cat out. As you guys know, I can't make a video without somebody being involved in it besides me. So, hold on a second. Let me let my cat out. Okay, um, so with that being said, now, would you trust somebody that you've known on Facebook for a minute to send them money or to send them a gift, or would you trust, excuse me again, um would you trust uh enough to give your address out? Because that's a whole nother issue. Like, you want to ask people for money, but do you give them a PO box to send it to, or do they have your address? Now, with that being said, I have totally given people my my address, but the people that I send stuff to, I am not going to send something to you. Oh, alright. Sorry about that. I'm not going to send something to you unless I have an address. I'm not sending something to your PO box. And so all of my friends, and I do that just to verify that you are actually somebody, um rather than a scamming company. Or but I can honestly say that I have my doubts about people online. But if you're somebody I've known for a few months, a few years, and we have some kind of rapport, we have some kind of relationship, then yeah, definitely in a heartbeat I would send you something, no questions asked, other than an address. Now, if you gave me a PO box rather than a home address or a building address, I would kind of look at you sideways. Because if you're going to come to me and ask me for funding, if you're going to ask me for money or gifts or donations or whatever, sorry, but you're not going to give me an address, I would have to wonder why. Why is it you want me to trust you enough with my funds? Now, think about this for a minute. You want me to trust you enough with my money to give you my money, but you don't trust me enough with your address to give me your address. So that trust is a two-way thing. And there's no way in the world I would trust you if you don't trust me. I mean, just not at all. So if you came to me and asked me for, I mean, even if you asked me for $5, I wouldn't send you $1 without an address. Now, today in today's digital world, a lot of people, because I do this in my group, in my online group, I have Cash App, and my husband has Venmo, I think it's called. Um, and so we use the apps, but it's still, it's a matter of trust, and I would prefer to know that I'm giving somebody money that it's going to go to and do what they tell me it's going to go to and do. You know, even if, like, I've sent people money for a pack of cigarettes, and I don't smoke anymore, but hey, I understand it. And so if you're honest with me and go, look, I need $5 for a pack of cigarettes, okay, just be real with me. Just be real with me. Don't, oh, I'm starving, and I need $20, and you really just need five for a pack of cigarettes, but you feel like your tragic story is what's gonna capture the hearts of people. And it's like, you know, I'm so done with the scamming and the BSing. It's so weird. I have my lights, my Christmas lights going. I think I showed Facebook this at one time. This is my Christmas laser lights, and it's so weird because it's bouncing off my metal cup, and it looks like things are had like dancing in my cup. So when I was dipped off to the side a minute ago, that's what I was stirring my cup to, because it was so cool looking the lights and the swirl. But it's like, so how far do you take a friendship and take a level of trust with people online? Would you take the level of trust? I've got friends right now that I love online, love to death, have known them for 12, 13, 15 years. They have literally watched my kids grow up on Facebook, and I have watched theirs grow up on Facebook. Um, there's people on my Facebook that have watched my kids go from the playpen to their first car to their first job. My kids have been on Facebook for about 15 years. Now, uh, granted, they're a little bit older than 15, but it's amazing. It is amazing that I've watched people's kids grow up on Facebook, over social media in different countries and different states and different, just different places all over the world. Um, it's totally amazing. My kids are, my boys are 19 and 21. And it's totally amazing that some of my Facebook friends have watched these guys kill their gear. Oh my gosh. And some of these guys have watched them grow up over the years, from their homeschooling classes to their first jobs to, you know, their first cars. And it's just amazing how we've been a part of each other's lives over these cameras and these games. These games right here that I'm playing right now, and these cameras, and how I brought you into my house and I brought you into my living room, and not just this house, but many other houses over the years, because we've moved probably in the last, we've been in this house for 14 and a half years. So um, I think I had you guys in one other house in the same little small town, but it was a different house. So uh, I can't say many houses, but two houses um, since I've been on Facebook. Now, I started out on a thing called MySpace, if you guys remember that. And then I ended up on Facebook when MySpace started changing and doing different things. So I've been in two different houses. My kids, I want to say at that time, were my boys when I got to Facebook. Now I did show pictures. Now, okay, I started out on MySpace with my boys as babies. And then I carried those pictures and things over to Facebook when I did the switch to Facebook. When MySpace was gonna no longer be what we needed it to be. And I think I want to say my boys were, I don't know, 5 and 6 at that time, 4 and 5. So now they're 21 and 19, and like I said, you guys have watched them grow up, and it's like at what point is your relationship just at that point and at that bond and at that stage that, hey, I realize you're a real person, you're a real family, you're real, you are somebody who has feelings, who has emotions, who pretty much in a mundane world does the exact same thing that I'm doing day to day. You're getting your husband off to work, you're getting your kids to school, I homeschooled my kids, and so my life and my routine was a little bit different than some of my friends. I didn't get my kids up and send them out the door to school. I got my kids up, made them breakfast, and then sent them to the classroom that we had built for them in the house. And so, in that aspect, it was a little bit different. But then I did have some friends that homeschooled. And so, um, I built a relationship over the years with people who homeschooled and people who didn't. And those people, like, there are a few people, and I don't talk to these people. And that's the great thing about having friends that you've built rapport with over the years. We're on the same Facebook. I see them posting. I see them doing things. I see, their Facebook profile, their page is upkept every day, but we don't talk every day. And I'm okay with that. I am. They're doing their thing and they're living their life, and I'm doing my thing and I'm living my life. And they know at any given time that they can stop and talk to me, and I will do my best, conversation with them. I will do my best advice if that's what they're looking for. If they're looking for help and I can do it, I will do my best to do it. And it's just that kind of thing. It's one of those things that, we are friends to the point where we don't have to talk every day, but when we do, it's like we didn't miss a day. And I love that kind of relationship because it's like it never skipped a beat. It's like it never skipped a beat. It's like we're always here. You know I'm here. You see I'm here every day. Um, but we don't have to talk. And I don't. Oh God, this person didn't talk to me today. They must be mad at me. I'm 51. I ain't got time for that. It's like I'm way too past that. I'm so far past that kind of level of childishness that it doesn't, no. It, we can talk today and not again for another 3 months, and then you could say hi or I could say hi, and the conversation picks right up. And, that's how it should be in life because life is happening, and sometimes people don't always have the given opportunity to say, you know, they don't have the given opportunity every day to entertain you per se, and that's okay too. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them not entertaining me or me having to entertain them, but when we do come together, we entertain each other. So I'm okay with that, you know. But there are levels of trust that should be giving that should be given right up front, in my opinion. Now, again, comment in the comment section on either YouTube or Facebook and let me know where you stand on that. But I think in the beginning, there has to be a level of trust, even if it's very small, to even add you to my Facebook profile. And I have had people ask me to, they're in these gaming groups and they go, "Hey, add me because I need a neighbor," or "Hey, add me because I need a playmate or a teammate." I'm not gonna say playmate because people are stupid, but so then you add them and they want to talk about your beautiful blue eye. And for all those who don't get that reference, go watch my video on Facebook and you'll get it. But I mean, so there has to be a level of trust given right up front for someone to even add you to their profile, and then to keep you, and then to build a rapport with you over time. So even when you meet a person in real life, in person, when you meet someone in person, um keeping them around and building a rapport with them takes a level of trust on both parties. And so, I'm just wondering, like, at what level do you guys start out with? Do you add somebody and become immediate friends? Or do you add somebody and stand off and stand back and see what happens? Or do you not add somebody? Or do you add them and wait for the ball to drop? And if it does, you just block and delete them? Or how do you take that level of trust with people you meet online? Because I know that meeting online, whether it's in a game, whether it's in a dating app, whether it's in a grocery store app. I mean, if it's just having somebody deliver your groceries or deliver you know what? It is so weird. Do you know that um they uh they've had to start like taping up food items that people get like DoorDash, so that the DoorDash drivers aren't eating your food or sipping out of your cold drink or your soda or your drink, whatever it is you order. That's totally insane to me. They did a video one time, and you can look this up on YouTube, of DoorDash drivers who were eating or drinking out of their customers' food. I was, I guess I'm just crazy because I would, first off, I've had maybe a handful of deliveries delivered to my house since DoorDash became a thing because I really my family, we'd rather save the money and just go pick it up ourselves. But there have been like a number of times where like my son has had the car, and so we didn't have an option because of going to get it because my son had the car at work at his work, or when we did become a two-car household, then we would have DoorDash come because, or we would have groceries delivered from the grocery store because the car wasn't working, or the weather was not something I cared. Like my husband would be at work, but the weather would be something I would not care to have my son because he is a new driver driving in. So I would have a DoorDash person do it. And I didn't feel bad about having the DoorDash or a delivery person do it because a delivery person has more experience driving. So it wasn't that, oh, I didn't want to put my son at risk, but I was okay putting somebody else at risk in that weather. That was not my mindset at all. My mindset was at that time, my son was 16 years old and he was not an experienced driver. And here in Missouri, we get what they call sleet, where it's a rain and an ice or a rain and a snow. And my son, being 16, being a new driver, was not experienced enough to drive in that kind of weather. So we would have things delivered. And I never once thought about my delivery person might be well with my groceries. I can honestly say because all that store bought and it's all packaged and sealed, never had reason to think that. But like with the food that you get fast food takeout, I would have never, like, because we've had pizza delivery and we've had Chinese food delivered. We've had I want to say Burger King at one time. I'm, I mean, seriously, we normally go and get it ourselves, but you know, since it became a thing, we've only had it done a handful of times. And I would have never thought, gee, I wonder if my delivery person ate out of my bag or drank out of my cup. And I can honestly say, I don't personally think my delivery person did, because I can say as far as my fast food cup, it didn't even have the straw in it when it was delivered to me. So unless they popped the cup, which I mean, I guess it's a possibility. And in some of the videos, I'm telling you, go YouTube that the Uber drivers or DoorDash drivers uh, sneaking food. But it was crazy when I saw that. So now they actually put tape on, or they seal. They put, like, when you get these fast food cups, they take the lid and put it on there and they put a seal on it, and then the straw part they slap a sticker on that. Then it's just ridiculous the things they have to do because you can't trust people. And so it's just it's crazy. But um you know, that's kind of the question of the day is, how far do you trust somebody that is doing a service for you, or how much do you trust somebody that you meet online that is playing a game with you, or that becomes a Facebook friend, or that becomes a YouTube subscriber? How far do you trust a person, and how much do you tell them about your day-to-day life and your day-to-day struggles, and how open and how real are you with them? How much of a relationship do you build with these people, and how long does that relationship last? How far does that trust extend? Does that trust extend to we'll just always talk on social media and that's that? Or does that relationship extend to, oh my gosh, I'm going through hard times and you are one of my friends? So I'm asking you for help as well as I've asked everybody in my life for help. I mean, do you see your online friends as friends and people that are a part of your life? Or do you just see them as somebody who, when I'm online, I'll talk to you, and when I'm not, I'll forget you? I mean, how do you take people and experiences and thing and as in a day-to-day scenario and people, how do you let people into your world, and how do you build trust with them? How long do you keep them around? Now, obviously you're not going to keep your DoorDash person around unless you're a regular customer, and then I guess, but then good again. Oh my gosh, excuse me again on that one. It is now 6:24, but in my world, and but how do you take that? Like, I mean, let's say your DoorDash person is somebody that you're gonna be seeing on a weekly basis, and you're a steady. Let's say, uh, you're a steady every weekend. We're gonna have what's an international thing? We're gonna McDonald's. McDonald's. Everybody knows what McDonald's is, for the most part, anyway. Now, so every weekend you're gonna have McDonald's delivered. So you get the same McDonald's uh, DoorDash person every weekend for the next 10 years. Do you start building a rapport with that person? Are they just your delivery person and thanks for the grub, rub a dub dub, bye bye? Or, you know, after a month, do you go, okay, you, I've seen your face every weekend, 4 times a month, or 8 times a month, depending on if you only once a weekend have fast food or if you twice a weekend have fast food. But let's just say I see you once a month, or 4 times a month, 4 to 8 times a month, because I eat takeout every weekend. And so you start building a rapport with that person. And then you notice a month into it, your same delivery dude is no longer your delivery dude. Now, do you even notice? Do you miss him? Do you wonder what happened to him? Is he like on vacation? Did he get fired? Is he sick? Is he okay? What happened to him? Do you have the slightest interest or even care? So again, it all goes back to, yes, I'm staying on topic this video. It all goes back to, do you trust, and when you do trust, do you build a rapport with that trust? Or do you just sit back and notice things? Because I've done that kind of stuff too. I've been one to just be a sit back and noticer. You know, we used to go to Denny's, and we went to the same Denny's for years and years. And I mean, from the time my kids were in high chairs to the time they actually were working at that Denny's, I I remember when we first went to Denny's. Denny's had red carpet and a smoking section, and then 16, 16, 17 years later, they had a wooden floor and no more smoking section, and my kids were working there. at that same Denny's that they grew up at. And I know they had this one lady, and I don't want to say her name even though I know it now. She had a baby. And I never really said anything to her, but she was just a phenomenal waitress, and I loved her, and she was great. And every time we went there, we tried to get her. And I noticed her off days. Um, and when I knew she was off on that specific day, I didn't want to go to Denny's. I'd go somewhere else because I knew she wasn't going to be the one to serve me. And it's not to say whoever else was working that day was not just as phenomenal, was not just as great, but I knew what to expect from her. And I had built that unspoken relationship with her. And so it was funny because I knew her off days were Wednesday. And so I would go every other day. And so I showed up on a Monday and she wasn't there. And I showed up on a Tuesday and she wasn't there. And I showed up on a Friday. And so finally I asked. Finally I was like, where is so and so? And they were like, oh, she had her baby. And I was like, oh, okay, that's great. So they told me what she had. I thought that was great. And she decided to stay at home for a while. And then, like, 8 months passed. And so I went back. And then she still wasn't there. So I asked people, I'm like, well, where is so and so? And oh, she decided to go work at the other Denny's, which is closer to her house. And so I showed up at the other Denny's and she wasn't there. Well, come to find out, um, and I had at this point spoken to her a couple of times and had a rapport with her. They knew us coming in and things like that. And well, needless to say, I went to the other place looking for her, and they said, "Nah, she had talked about coming here, but she just decided she was going to be a stay-at-home mom and raise her son." And I thought, wow, I'm going to miss her because she had been my waitress for like 15 years, and I'm going to miss her, but I understand her choices. I understood, man, baby, family comes first. It comes first. That comes above all. And I hope I see her again. And if she sees this video, she may not even know who I'm talking about. And I don't want to say her name without her permission. But uh, St. Louis, Missouri Denny's, you you were well missed. And I needless to say, my sons worked at Denny's for a little while, and then they moved on jobs, and we don't really go to Denny's too much anymore because uh, when the Rovid hit, the service went down, the customer service went down, the quality of the restaurant went down, and it just the not not the waitresses, but the restaurant itself went down because I think corporate just stopped caring and they stopped reaching out and they stopped making sure things were fixed and done in the restaurant the way it should have been done. And like I said, this had nothing to do with the waitressing staff or the cooking staff or any of that nature, but like the restaurant we went to had holes in the ceiling. You can't blame that on the waitress. That is a corporate maintenance issue. And then the restaurant had ants and it had roaches. And, again, this was not a waitressing issue. This was not a cook issue. This was totally a corporate, did not care enough about this business. So, again, I'm not talking bad about the waitresses. The waitresses were phenomenal people and they did what they could with what they had. But Um, Needless to say, eventually I had my sons quit working there because it did become just such an unkept place due to corporate, not due to anybody working there, but due to corporate's um, neglect. The place, the building just got so run down that it was not even worth it. So I had my boys quit and move on. But because honestly, I didn't want to take a chance on them bringing the bugs from there to my house. I just didn't. And I stopped eating there because sitting there one day, I literally had a roach, one of those little ones, crawl across my booth as me and my husband were sitting there eating. And I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm done. And I didn't cause a scene because that's just not who I am as a person. But I told my husband, I said, I'm done. And he understood. We paid for our food and we quite. I told the waitress that was there, but there's nothing she could do about it. I mean, I brought it to her attention, but there's nothing they can do about that. I mean, there's really nothing they can do about that. That is a corporate issue. So after that happened, I just stopped going to to Denny's altogether. But again, I digress back to the topic of level of trust. Do you trust your Uber driver? Do you trust your DoorDasher? I mean, even with Uber, when the person shows up, and I've seen videos of that. I mean, y'all have to go on YouTube and see some of these crazy, my Uber driver experience or my Uber experience is crazy. But how far, when you are putting yourself and sometimes your life and your health into the hands of another person, how far do you go with that trust on people you don't necessarily know? I mean, it's one thing to have a gaming friend and I'm gonna give you stuff in a game and yada yada and it's all good, but when you're putting your hands or your life in the hands of somebody like a DoorDash person, and yes, you really are, because I don't know what kind of poison you might be affecting in my food, or an Uber driver. I don't know your driving history. I don't know your criminal history. I don't know anything about you. I can only hope that you're going to get me from point A to point B. So, okay, guys, I've been talking for a minute here. I'm going to wrap this up and get it posted on both YouTube and Facebook. And you guys comment and let me know, where do you start the trust? Where do you rein it in? Where do you reel it out? And would you ever or would you never? I guess that's the real question. Would you ever trust somebody that you don't know, that's a complete stranger, to give you a ride or deliver your food or bring your groceries? Or would you never? I have to say I would, because like I said, I did. Um, but I can honestly say I've never done an online dating app. I was years into marriage before those. I'm not gonna say before those came along, but before I was made aware of them. I was years into marriage before I had even heard of dating apps. So I am. I I have bought things online. I've used what they call Craigslist back years and years ago, and then I stopped using uh, Craigslist Craigslist years and years ago. Then I used Facebook Marketplace, and I still do look at it, but it's been a long time since I've actually made a pickup. Um, Now I did do a business pickup about 4 to 6 months ago. I picked up a crate or a pallet of Santa not, what do you call those? They're cleaning wipes. I picked up a case of them. The company was giving them away. Um, the sanitizing wipes. But as far as a personal uh a person to person, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've done a pickup from Facebook Marketplace, and it's been years and years since I. And then I was on the neighborhood app, and the neighborhood app is like, man, the neighborhood app, at least for my neighborhood, was like the gossip column of Ann Landers, if anybody remembers that, in the newspaper. And I just, it was beyond me. And the people there were just so immature. And so it was ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. And, you know, I just, so I ended up deleting that app. I don't know if anybody missed me or if they did or if they didn't. And I wouldn't care if they did, didn't know, didn't care because I just I got to the point where I just couldn't take it. I mean, this one was talking about that one was talking about how this one was doing their child, how this one was doing their pets, how this one was doing their yard, how the outside of that one's house looked, and I'm like, dude, rather than sitting around talking about these people and their issues, why don't you go help them out with that? If this person has overgrown grass and they're your neighbor and it's getting on your nerves, why don't you go cut the grass? I mean, we can sit around and gossip about it, or we can be a part of the solution. I know it's a novel concept, right? And then there's people, oh, why would I do that? Gee, I don't know. Maybe you'd go do that so you could shut your own mouth. Or maybe you just go do that because you're an upstanding moral citizen who wants to help the world be a better place. It's like, so again, where is your level of trust? Where is your mindset on trusting people and allowing people to come into your day to day life and do things? Now, me personally, I have a Ring doorbell, and it's funny because my somebody rang my doorbell the other day, and my husband was like, "Catch the door," and I'm like, "Oh, no, son." I said, "You gonna wait?" Because for whatever reason, when you're trying to pull up your Ring camera footage, it takes this time. And I said, "Hold up, son." I told my husband, I was like, "Dude, you know what? I will let them stand there if it takes my camera a half hour. If they want to talk to me that bad, they're gonna wait." In today's era, I do not just open my door for anybody. And you can look that up online. I look up a lot of stuff online. I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. If you go look up ring doorbell, ring ring doorbell camera footage, go look that up online. Ooh, I think I finally passed this level. Yes, going on to the next level. But anyway, anyway, if you go look that up, it's ring doorbell camera footage on YouTube. you'll see some crazy stuff there too. So I don't just open my door anymore. And it was funny. So I told my son, I said, "You gonna wait?" And so I pulled up the camera, and it was some guy I ain't noticed. I didn't know who this guy was. So I talked to him through the camera. I'm like, "How can I help you? What do you want?" You gonna wait. If you want me to open my door, you gonna wait till I can see who you are. Because evidently you know who I am, you knocking on my door. And if you're knocking on my door and you don't know who I am, then that's a you problem. But if you're knocking on my door, I'm gonna know who you are, or at least what you look like before I answer my door. So, again, it goes back to the level of trust. So I passed this level, and I'm about to now go edit this video and get it posted for you guys. Like I said, this one's going on YouTube, but I will also post it on Facebook, and I will post on Facebook my YouTube channel because I told a few of my Facebook friends yesterday that I'd do that for them. So, you guys have a great day.